striking in the book, which is he's so literate. As I say, he channels Rousseau and Voltaire and others. And yet, when he speaks to whites, he speaks in a dialect. He speaks in the dialect sort of exactly like Mark Twain did. And it's weird because he kind of understands that he has to do that to sort of pretend not to be literate.
Well, yes, the slaves in the novel, and probably, and no doubt in history, had to comply with the expectations of behavior that whites had of them. Otherwise, they were threatening. So, in James, he actually instructs the children about not only what the language they call slave, the language that the white people expect to hear, but the behavior and the allowing their oppressors to feel superior to them.
You think that's still an issue today?
Well, it was an issue well into the 20th century, certainly, with Jim Crow and violence. And given certain circumstances with black youth dealing with police, you would expect people to worry about how they're going to be treated by what they say. It's sad, but probably true.
This is the book of John, chapter 8 and verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teach and rule well. Shalom to the elect, the 144,000, first and foremost, pushing the truth in all sincerity in the four quarters of the earth. It's your brother Tabalia Yakwana coming at you with a quick lesson, Lord willing, it's edifying. All right, as you saw in that clip, there was an interviewer. This is like some PBS thing. I don't have all maybe I'll put the information in the comments, but looked like an Edomite interviewing Jake about basically how, when I say Jake, I'm talking about a so-called Negro. Basically, he was talking about how, our people, specifically the Negroes, which are the southern kingdom of Israel, you so-called blacks. And you're actually so-called Negroes too. These are bywords, that Esau Edom has placed upon our people. There's bywords for the northern kingdom as well. But he's explaining how, black people have to, up until this day, had to, I guess how the interviewer put it, shapeshift to basically appease the oppressor. And it was just something that kind of stuck in my mind while I was watching this interview. I was like, this is one of the things I struggled with coming up. I was like, why do we have to be like that? And so, bringing out John 8 and 32, I'll read it again. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Yeah, so that was one of the beautiful, the scriptures speak about how it shall be sweet in your mouth, this truth, man. But then eventually it gets bitter, because you realize just the severity of the condition that you're in, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we're in a captivity. This is Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. I have seen servants upon horses, right? So those servants upon horses, that's a so-called white man. Why? Why is he a servant upon a horse? Because he's actually set up to be the lowest of low. If you pursuing to Job 30 and verse 8, they were considered children of fools, children of base men. Okay, base meaning low. When you get Daniel 4 and verse 17, grab that real quick. It makes the point as well. You know, hey, this so-called white man, which white is just a social construct made up, I believe, in the 1700s, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, to push forth white supremacy, man, or so-called white supremacy, because the Edomite man, the so-called white man, is not white. He's just various shades of red. All right. This is Daniel 4 and 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth it up over and setteth up over it the basis of men. So that's basically saying that the Lord rules these kingdoms on the earth. Okay, and who he wants to be in rulership, he will have in rulership. And as we are in this day, the ruler of the earth is Esau, Edom, or the so-called white man. Okay. And that's pursuant to Job 9 and 24. The earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. All right. So, you know, we're being ruled by a base man for going off, man, for breaking the commandments. When you go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 68th verse, let me grab it real quick. It reads, "And the Lord Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt," Egypt being America, which is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, pursuant to Revelation, the 11th chapter and the 8th verse. "Again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee," with ships. So we came here on the transit, by way of the transatlantic slave route, you know, from the west coast of Africa here to the Americas, talking about primarily the southern kingdom, because the northern kingdom was already here, fleeing the Assyrian captivity. Okay, verse continuing on, it says, "By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen," bondmen meaning slave, and bondwomen. Okay, so slave men and slave women. So we are in captivity, we're in a slavery, and no man shall buy you. Okay, meaning no man is going to get you out of that situation. You know, a man is not going to be able to get you out of that situation. You're going to have to turn back. First of all, you're going to have to remember yourselves, as the scriptures say. We shall remember ourselves in the place of our captivity, and then we're going to have to go through that straight gate, man. The Lord's only going to preserve only a small few of us, though. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 29. And it reads, "And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee." Right? So, you know, groping at noonday, Why for madness, man? This is explaining why we're in a messed up situation right now. This is explaining why the beginning of that interview, where Jake was over there trying to explain, yeah, if you don't act a certain way, then they'll see you as a threat. Well, that's because you're in captivity, man. And this is what most of our people don't understand. You're in a captivity. You're under an oppressor. You're under the son of perdition. Okay? You're under the accuser of thy brethren, Esau, the so-called white man. Okay? And you're not going to prosper, as the scriptures say, man. So, you got Jake. The scriptures speak about filling your putting your money in a bag full of holes. Jake be chasing this money, which is just a talisman, and it just falls out as if the bag had holes in it, because you're not going to prosper in your ways. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. So ain't no man going to get you up out of this situation. You're not going to get yourself out of this situation. The scriptures speak about us not having, this is not our rest. We have no continuing city here, meaning we're not going to build up in this place, okay? But eventually, and eventually, that cup is going to be passed to our oppressors, to the nations, and they're going to go into captivity for enslaving us, which we're the Lord's chosen people, man. Okay? We are the Israelites. He chose us. Out of all nations, he chose us. It's just the truth. And so, as a balance rights itself, the cup is going to be passed unto Esau, Edom, as the scriptures say, man. He's going to drink double. Okay. This is Revelation 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. This Edomite led us into captivity. He furthered the affliction, as the scriptures say. And he killed us with the sword. His sword comes in various forms, but he literally slaughtered us, raped us, raped our men and our women and our children. He poisons our food, our water. He puts us he confines us to certain portions of the earth in these cities, these ghettos. The curses are upon us, man. It says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword, right? This devil's going to be killed with the sword. He's going to be destroyed eventually, pursuant to Obadiah 1 and verse 18. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Patience goes into suffering. All right. The faith of the saints, man. Who's the saints? The Israelites. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. So as the scriptures say, this devil was loose for a little season, pursuant to the Revelation, the 20th chapter. He came out of that bottomless pit, which is Europe, and to deceive the nations for a little season, man. And his little season is about to be up. So that right there, that just puts your mind at ease. If you have eyes to see, the truth shall make you free. So Lord willing, I was edified. I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh Ba'al Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'al Shem Ruach HaKodesh. Shalom.